Hey folks, everything new under the sun. All right, Dave was asked to do or add a comment, I guess, about this video. Sorry about the background noise. Having a bit of a windstorm here. This morning I wasn't able to actually record anything. Nothing was working. I think I got something again. But this video is about a Canadian Preppers video. Nationwide Cyberattack pending, 666 Civil War in 2024. Predictive programming. Now this is about the movie apparently on Netflix called Leave the World Behind. I've never watched it. I don't have Netflix. I'm sure it would be amusing, interesting, entertaining, but I'm not sure it's biblically accurate. In fact, I'm very sure it's not biblically accurate. I think one thing to look for, what I find interesting about these is kind of how people react when situations arise, or at least how the writers think people will react at that point in time. And when things go sideways, whether it be cyber attacks, civil war, it's all very interesting and exciting when it comes to the depiction in the movie about the situation. That's my power going off in the background and having all sorts of trouble, by the way. We have 100-kilometer-an-hour winds, wind gusts tonight, kind of like a mini hurricane where we are. But I wrote some notes about his video. I think, honestly, he's getting a bit too far into the conspiracies as it relates to predictive programming and movies that predict something is coming. I think there's some deception here, maybe on purpose, about what it will be like. I think it's to the government's advantage and to some people's advantage, certainly Satan's advantage, to distract people, to make it look very, very interesting and exciting. If there is a major cyber attack or a nuclear weapon is deployed. I don't think it's going to happen that way, or at least, World War III might happen. But the last days with the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, I think it's going to be all very, very boring. We're going to slide into it, just like we did the pandemic. Remember the pandemic? At the end of the day, it wasn't that exciting. We all kind of slid into the rules and the requirements and the lockdown and the masking. We all kind of slid into it. We didn't go out on our own and try and survive. And when, things go sideways, cyber attacks happen. I think the government's going to lock us down. I think they're going to put rules on us. They're going to lock us in our houses. No one's going to go rogue. We're not going to have an opportunity to survive and go hunting for food and live off the land and do all these things that they depict in these movies. So I think the last days will not be as exciting as these picture movies suggest. In fact, they'll be much more deceptive, low-lying. There'll be there'll be significant hardship and a lot more pressure to just follow along with the government. And 99.9% of the people will follow along. They will step in line. I don't think we get to a situation where it's complete Mad Max. I think the government will always hold some control. Otherwise, I don't think the Antichrist could come to power. I don't think he could regain power if there was just Mad Max and anarchy everywhere. So Satan is going to add some truth into these sorts of films, but then also add a lot of stuff. And it's going to make people expect that, when this thing does happen, things are going to be go sideways. When these things do happen, I think people will not expect, really what it's. They're not going to expect what it actually turns out to be with the world government, with the Antichrist. What Canadian Prepper keeps saying is that he thinks the scariest thing is not that there is a cabal or a group of people organizing and ordering the world around, but the thought that there is nobody ordering and organizing situations. And I think that's a lie, because ultimately we know in the Bible there is a world government, there is a world dictator that comes to power, there is a one world currency. So yes, there will always be a group of people, politicians, whatever it may be, ultimately moved by the unseen guiding hand of Satan, if you will, in the last days specifically, that are moving in a direction. And if you get people who don't read their Bibles believing that no one is in control, well, that's one form of deception. They're going to say, well, it's, the Bible's not true about, the Antichrist and the mark of the beast. There's nobody in control. And so I think there's deception here that kind of captures people who don't know end time Bible prophecy. It also gives people like Canadian Prepper the option, the out, if you will, to say, oh, I believe this is going to happen and not the Bible, even though the Bible's happening before their eyes. It kind of gives them excuses and reasons to not believe the Bible when what happens in the Bible comes true. So in the last days, Satan will be controlling things. The Antichrist, the one world government, the one world religion. There will be all sorts of order in these things, especially in the first half of that 7-year period. There's little bits of truth, and so they throw in that 666, but it's more like a ha ha ha. The Bible's not true, but isn't it interesting? And maybe they're trying to tell us something. So it's one more reason to disbelieve the Bible and make a joke of it, really, when they don't really understand what 666 actually means, and that is going to be the mark of the beast. That's the piece they're not putting together. They're embellishing these things, and it's for amusement purposes. You know what amusement means? It means to not think. Amuse is to think. A is to not, the negative, if you will. So it means to not think. So when you go to an amusement park, you go to a place to not think. You don't want to think about things in daily life. You go to be amused. You go to have your mind in another world, in something fun and exciting. So I guess I won't drone on for too long, but those are my thoughts on this. So, watch it, get some enjoyment out of it, and maybe get some ideas out of it about what some people might act like in the last days. But I think it's what we're going to experience is a lot more boring, and it's going to be a lot. I think people are going to be completely deluded and deceived about the last days. Everybody's going to slide into a world government, a mark of the beast system. It's not going to come upon you and go pow right in your face. This is here, because people will recognize it as what is spoken of in the Bible. No, it's going to come much more silently. It's just going to kind of slide in under the radar, get us used to our cell phones and tracking our every move, get us used to digital currency and using that, and all of a sudden it just just a little change here, little change there, and it slides into one world government and complete tracking and control, and all of a sudden people are in it. Meanwhile, it's been happening all the time, unlike the shock and awe of the speed at which these movies go. So I'll leave there. That's my comments on it for what it's worth. And I'll try and get another video out here. I've been so busy. It's just, I've got remortgaging going on, and I've got property issues to deal with, and money issues, and all sorts of things happening. And so I haven't been able to get a video out. But things are happening. By the way, check out Scotty Clark's videos. He put out a couple real long videos about Jonah 2024. Interesting stuff. He gets into a whole different side of things, and he's changed his ideas about the pre-trib rapture as well. Interestingly, he has come around to more of my understanding of end-time Bible prophecy, I think. At least from what I've heard anyway. So interesting. Check out Scotty Clark's YouTube channel. I'll leave there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.